Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today's video is sponsored by sleep medication. No, I'm not here from Big Pharma or anything of that sort. I'm here to offer you a very holistic solution, one that worked for me, and that was watching the Jake Paul boxing match. You know, I could title this video in a million ways. Jake Paul cured my sleep paralysis, which he actually did last night. I'm not gonna lie to you here. He actually cured my chronic sleep paralysis. I actually slept like a baby last night. I could also title this video, Jake Paul owes me $50, because quite honestly, the fight match that I watched yesterday that shook our YouTube community as a whole was one of the most boring events I have ever witnessed in the history of mankind. And I played Shenmue, by the way, okay? I have a degree in understanding what's boring and what isn't. Now, I'm going to cover this video in a couple ways. First off, I'm not really going to show you fight footage, but I will show you a dramatic recreation of this fight. So if you don't want to watch the remainder of this video, I'm going to save you some time, audience, okay? I'm going to do you the favor what Triller didn't do me last night. This is a dramatic recreation. As you can see, Mario is Jake Paul and Peach is Ben Askren. Jake Paul just knocked Peach out, no problem, no questions asked. Honestly, Peach put up more of a fight here than Ben did the entire time. And you know what? If that's what you wanted, if that is literally how the fight played out, quite honestly, okay? Almost a shot-for-shot remake. Martin Scorsese couldn't do better if he tried. So if you wanted this, you got it, okay? You can go home, you can do whatever you want. You could even play Shenmue right now, because I guarantee it's more exciting than what we've witnessed. Now, I want to talk about the production value. Triller was behind this entire Fight Club event. Now, Triller's production value is on par between a middle school elementary production and bum fights. There's just no above and beyond. That is the range we're dealing with, okay? The actual production quality for this entire show sucked. Now, I had server issues on their entire website, so the entire stream basically came out blotchy looking to begin with, which wasn't that big of a deal. I honestly think it was better because I didn't have to actually witness all this crap to begin with, but I just want to make that known. For some reason, the entire event, they actually had scaffolding show the entire time. I don't know whether they were trying to portray an underground fighting ring. It just looked like they didn't finish the set on time and decided not to care. Quite honestly, guys, could we not have had a pure black background so I could just focus on the fight? Listen, my eyes are going everywhere looking at scaffolding. It looks like the set to a Catwoman film production done by college students, okay? I wasn't enjoying it. And here's another brilliant thing, okay? Now, the best part about the production was for some reason the camera kept focusing on the edges of the ring, so you kept seeing the ropes. Now, this would be okay if it happened once or twice. I get it. I've been around the live TV circuit. I know it messes up. Switch to a different camera. During Triller's production, it was a conscientious effort to make sure we did not see the actual fight occurring. What director and cameraman was going out of their goddamn way to film ropes the entire time? I wanted to actually see the fight that I paid for, not to be laughed at. Now, for people wondering, Muda, why would you pay for a fight that you could very easily go to Twitch, Google free Minecraft chill stream, and watch absolutely for free? Well, it's because sometimes I like supporting the losers in this production. Sometimes I like supporting the new kids on the block. And you know what? I feel good about myself. Sometimes I like to buy the bargain bin cookies from the discount Girl Scouts, okay? Sometimes I like to support the underdog. And in this case, no one won except Triller and Jake Paul and Ben and their paydays. That's pretty much what it came down to. Now, the fights were rather mediocre and boring themselves. There were a few fights, 3 fights at least, that were much better than Jake and Ben. Not saying that that's some massive scope to, live by, but they were better. Now, to understand, the first 2 fights were about as exciting as watching paint fucking dry. At some point during the fight, I actually opened up GitHub. I'm not joking with you, I did. Do you know that there's a new method, something that's been found out with NVIDIA graphic cards? You can actually use the vGPU component on them. So hopefully, sometime in the future, not confirmed, I may be able to build 3 virtual machines powered by one RTX 3090. Hopefully. I was looking at GitHub code and scripts. It was so boring, ladies and gentlemen. I had the whole fight on the smaller monitor while I had GitHub on the larger monitor. Yes, GitHub was more exciting than the Jake Paul Triller event. My lord, when you put it that way, it's fucking bad. Now, I want to apologize to Yu Suzuki and the creators of Shenmue, because I feel like I rag on them a lot, rightfully and justifiably so. That game is boring, okay? I'm sorry. When you're playing a game about doing a literal forklift job over and over and over again and trying to find the sailors, guess what, Ryu? Check the docks, okay? There you go. Problem solved, okay? There, I thought outside the box. When you're looking at a game franchise like that that's so universally boring, I have to apologize, because Shenmue is like playing Devil May Cry 5 over watching this event. Both these two fights were so uninteresting and boring and everything related to them that I honestly wish I had just played Shenmue instead. I wish I had played anything. Again, go back a minute to the video. I was on GitHub instead of watching the actual fights. Now, someone at Triller decided we have to pad out this entire event somehow. And what did they do? They started running concerts, okay? At some point, okay, to really show you what we're looking at, okay? I have a visual aid to describe. Now, imagine this pie chart over here represents the entire event, okay? This, okay, this right here, this is the fucking fight, okay? All of this, yeah, that's concerts, okay? That's all the people singing at this concert. Now, to understand, I didn't know half these artists anyways. Like, I've heard of Doja Cat, you know, briefly from, like, you know, my 7-year-old, like, nephew. Actually, that's, we need to have a talk about that. But anyways, all these artists came out that I have no idea of, and I didn't really care about. And, you know, one song is fine. Maybe 2 songs are okay. But it got to a point where, like, every time the music faded and another one started half a second later, we were like, oh God, no, they're continuing with this whole nonsense. And they did. Honestly, the actual concert and song segments had more production value put into them exponentially, okay? Here it is, okay? This is like a graph. All right, this is like, this represents the production value of the actual fight. This represents the production value of the fucking concerts, okay? Infinitely more than the actual fight itself. Not really what you want to be doing when you're covering a fight, right? But anyways, it got annoying to the point where I just wasn't tolerating it. At some point, Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube came in and were like a brief reprieve from the terror. It's not to say that it was too great or anything, but like it was a brief reprieve, okay? I could tolerate it. You know, at least their performance was good. Later on during this entire affair, they had another fight with like the most dog shit fake sack tap I have ever seen, to the point where I think stretchers were called in. And at this point, like, I was just losing it. I started to load up a game called Dot Hack Goo, and I had a fucking far more infinitely interesting time playing that game. I put it on the big monitor, and I had this Fight Club Entertainment, whatever you want to call it, on the smaller monitor. It wasn't capturing me at that point either. One of the postscript notes that I wanted to add to that I totally forgot about was that one of the commentators was so absolutely boring, and I totally forget the name of it, but at some point during the fight, he started talking about the USSR, and like, bro, the USSR, like one of the other commentators tried to correct the joke or tried to like make him ease off this point, but like the USSR and boxing haven't been relevant since goddamn Rocky, and then like he started saying USSA throughout the entire round too. Like, I don't know what the joke was. It's kind of like when your dad gives you a like joke and you sort of laugh at it once, but when he does it the 300th time in a night, you start seeing a health bar under him. Like, enough is enough, Dad. Okay, like, don't show up and commentate the fight while you're plastered, bro. What's going on? Now, later on, they had a segment with Justin Bieber. He came in. Again, they turned it back to the whole concert thing. And let me explain to you how bad the production value here got, okay? It was a fucking 180. So I want you to imagine this is Justin Bieber, you know, singing in the concert right here. This is good old Justin, right? Now, what do you think is wrong with this image? Well, as they captured this shot, for some reason, they decided to have a goddamn laser show over here. Like, it looked like a Star Wars movie. Like, this is literally what the screen looked like, okay, at this point, okay? Now, they had a bunch of other special effects tossed into this, too. And to show you how bad that got to, well, it was following the events of the laser, you know, cut from the same cloth, if you will. Now, imagine the blotchiness of video onto this, right? Like, just like video compression artifacting. You get the idea. I could barely see Justin Bieber perform. And what a shame. At this point, you know they're making money. They're getting Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, and Justin Bieber to play at this event. Like, what? All the big name artists? And you still aren't finding the way to showcase them properly? Nothing was working. Now, later on, after this whole scenario, one of the commentators went for a pre-fight interview and started roasting Jake. Like, you guys know that Jake is an unlikable person? Wow, you know, you could literally have just said Deus Ex is the best game ever made. All right, I'm not here to hear obvious facts, okay? I'm here to get the real, raw, gritty interview, and nothing was given over there. Now, this led us to the final, endurance round of the night, the actual Jake Paul fight. Now, at this point, admittedly, I passed out, okay? Like, I fell asleep. I was sleeping like a baby. It was the best sleep I've ever had. I think I dreamed about clouds. And like I did something cool in the clouds. I can't remember it. I don't keep a dream journal, but I had an interesting dream, infinitely better. Okay, I was sleeping like a kid. No sleep paralysis, no nothing. The best sleep I have actually had in about over a year. No joke. Okay, even better than the Minecraft. So for that, I have to personally thank the Triller people for creating an event so fucking boring it cured chronic sleep issues. Now, when you got to the fight, I woke up and I witnessed a few highlights. Now, the highlights were about 7 seconds in large. So when the highlights are less than the average amount of a TikTok video, you know the fight is bad. So literally, Ben walks in, Jake walks in, the fight starts. Within 7 seconds, I shit you not, Jake knocks this dude out, apparently. And the fight is over. The fight's gone, okay? Now, understand, this fight's been delayed by 2 hours at this point, 3 hours, I'm pretty sure. So when it happened, we expected, maybe something better. Now, listen, I know with these boxing events, it's usually fake anyways. It's like going to WWE and expecting reality. Like, at that point, you're lying to yourself, and I can't even defend you at that point. You've lied to yourself too goddamn much. But, at least put up a fight, guys. Ben put about as much effort into this performance as a YouTuber does with a Raid Shadow Legends promotion. At some point, okay, you got, at least wiggle a little bit, throw a punch. Like, what is this? I got down on the ground, please give up. Like, dude's waving the white flag, before the whole war even began. And Jake's ego skyrockets through, Ben gets paid, and we all lose our time and money. But ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say, out of this entire event, I like YouTube boxing. I think this is like a cultural phenomenon for every YouTuber. You could be anybody, you could be me, you could be Townsend's, you could be like the average cooking channel, you could be like an arts and craft channel on Venezuela, and you're probably going to watch the boxing event because why not, right? It's something that brings all of us together. And Jake, we expected you to do a little bit better than this, all right? All you had to do was run a boxing event. At least run it to round 2, dog. At least let the guy throw a couple punches. What the fuck? But it ended. It's over. We lost our $50. I'm almost convinced going to my credit card company and telling them I got scammed. And at some point, the investigator is going to be like, can you send us proof? I'm going to send them the whole fucking VOD. And they're going to, one investigator is going to have to watch the whole VOD. And even if I don't get my money back, I know that I was not the only one that suffered through this. I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, in 5 years, you'll find a VOD of this existing in some CIA black site used as an actual torture device. It is insane. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this post-fight commentary by yours truly. If you ever wanted me to do sports commentary, this is the closest you're ever going to get. I like boxing enough to just watch a couple dudes take each other on. After that, I have no interest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. And F in the chat for everyone that invested in cryptocurrency. That I feel the pain with too. I am